Atozy. It's been a minute since I've checked out one of his videos. Dancing influencer doctor flees after patient passed away. Why? I really have nothing to say. I really have nothing to say because it's like, why is a doctor doing videos like this? Why is a doctor trying to be an influencer? Like, it makes sense. Like, there are a bunch of people who went to college, started making content while they were in college, got big while making content, and then never did anything with their degrees. The fact that this is someone who's doing something with their degree, yet still trying to chase the content making, well, whatever they're doing. But dancing influencer doctor flees after patient passes away.
This doctor danced and rapped her way through actual surgeries, then got sued by more than a dozen patients, had her medical license ripped away for good, and instead of, I guess, retiring quietly, no, she picked up a new name and kept doing the exact same things like nothing ever happened for years. Sometimes stories come across my desk and I'm like, okay, there's no way this is real. And then I research it and I realize, oh, this is very real. Despite me pinching myself to make sure it's actually real just due to how unbelievably stupid it is. So, hey, I mean, it is safe to say we have quite the video today. So somewhere between 2017 and 2018, back when TikTok was Musical.ly, a video started going around on the internet that at first glance could have...
Wait, TikTok was Musical.ly? There was a origin to TikTok? I thought TikTok was just was made in China and then just somehow got very popular very quick. I still don't know how TikTok is so popular. I still don't know that. I still don't understand it. I still never used it.
Only seemed like, I don't know, a skit. Hopefully, because essentially you had a woman in scrubs, scalpel in hand, mid-surgery, fully vibing to various rap songs as she cuts into patients' stomachs. Okay, except, as I stated earlier, no, this was absolutely not a skit. This was just Dr. Wendell Davis Bote, a board-certified dermatologist, running her own cosmetic surgery practice just outside of Atlanta. On paper, I guess her credentials looked pretty solid. She went to UCLA for medical school. She'd been practicing for over 20 years, and she ran her own cosmetic surgery practice, doing stuff like liposuction, tummy tucks, and overall augmentations.
Smart lipo has totally revolutionized the concept of liposuction. It is a simple procedure that is done in office, under local anesthesia, with the patient listening to their iPod, sing along with music, and it's actually an enjoyable experience.
But I guess the problem started because she also had a hobby that ended up defining her entire career, filming herself dancing and singing directly over patients while they were in mid-procedure. And obviously, this is while the patient is probably unaware of what's going on, you know, because they're under anesthesia and they are unconscious. So, there's a whole lot of red flags waving when you see that. But this is one of the 20 videos that she'd been posting to her own public YouTube channel for years, all filmed in the middle of real procedures on real patients that she, I guess, used as marketing for her own practice. But in one, she's dancing around with instruments in both hands, leaning over a patient's exposed backside.
Like, you have to be precise with the incision and everything. If you're thrusting to the beat of a song, you're not going to be precise. You're just cutting the tissue, not caring how deep you're going with not a syringe, the blade, whatever it's called.
And rapping Migos lyrics. Then another one, she's cutting into someone's belly in sync with a...
Imagine the doctor farming cliffs while you're under the knife. Crazy world. Yeah. I mean, I could just imagine being under, like when my foot was being cut open, the doctor just dancing and all the patient staff, the anesthesiologist, everyone just dancing to some unknown beat that I'm just clocked out on as they're nicking open my foot. Like, what the heck?
OT Genesis's song, Cut It. We live in some interesting times, filled with some interesting people. And sometimes I guess her staff just got in on the action as well, and they started dancing behind her like they were backup dancers instead of, I don't know, medical staff. And again, to be clear, we're talking about real operations on real people who were sedated the whole time. But according to her, patients supposedly agreed to be filmed ahead of time and even picked out the songs, which... I mean, okay, fine. Maybe some of them did, but that doesn't really explain the lawsuits that went flying. And I feel like that explanation gets a lot murkier when you realize what was actually going wrong in that operation room while the cameras were rolling. And by the way, she made like 20 different videos with like 20 different patients. So this is just crazy. But essentially, this is where the story stops being funny. So in February of 2016, a woman named Isilma Cornelia, she went to see Dr. Bote a few weeks before her wedding. She was also working towards a PhD in nursing at the time and wanted some Botox and a few touch-ups so she would feel good in her dress. But according to court records, once this...
You know, I know this isn't about that, but it's kind of sad how there's this huge thing around... It's not just women, but it's primarily women, where they feel like they're not enough. And I think that's incredibly disheartening. I don't know why it's so prevalent, but why are people so unhappy? She's getting married. She's supposed to be having the happiest day of her life until she has children. She's supposed to be having the happiest day of her life, yet she's wanting to do even more to make her feel even more special, even better, because she doesn't feel like she's enough. Like, like as a guy, I mean, it would be so disheartening for the one you've committed your life to, the one you want to spend the rest of your life with, feeling like they're not enough. Because it's like, how can you possibly think that? What have I done? As a guy, it's like, what have I done to lead you to think that? Maybe there are guys that do talk down to their spouses and make them feel ugly. There are. Just like there are guys who have bullied their women into deleting the children because they don't want to be a father. So they bully the woman into it. There are those situations, but it's just like, for me, it's just like, why? Like, I want to be able to tease my wife. I want to be able to have fun with my wife. I want to be able to just spend time with my wife. But how can you do that when you're constantly worrying, if her husband was a good guy, constantly worrying that any kind of tease, any kind of joke, any kind of just thing you say, and us guys, let's be honest, we don't know what we're saying half the time. We think we're being funny, we say something, we laugh about it, and then after an hour of silence, we realize we said something wrong. Yeah, we all know that. Us guys, we just don't catch it. We don't think from that perspective because we're trying to have fun, we're trying to tease. And they go into it thinking that there's something wrong when a woman should never be led to feel or believe that there is something wrong. I think men needs to go out and basically say to their spouses, to their partners, to whatever, I'm a retard. Don't take everything I say at face value. That's what we have to do. And I think we need to do it on a daily basis. I need to say that to my wife as soon as I get off stream. I need to go to her. That's going to be the first thing I say to her. She's probably watching right now. When I walk to her, if I don't say it, she's going to be pissed. Because guess what? Again, I'm simple-minded. I'm probably going to forget. Even though I should say it every day. Just like I love you. You should always say I love you to your wife. You should always say I love you to your spouse, your partner, like, the one you're committed to for the rest of your life. It's incredibly important to let them know they're loved, to let them know that they're yours. But yeah, the fact that this whole thing, she went there just because she wasn't feeling beautiful enough for her wedding is sad. It's sad. And this affects a lot of women, primarily women, but not only women, not exclusively. But primarily women, at least from what I've seen, from what I understand, from my knowledge, it's primarily women.
Staff realized that she was getting married, they pitched her on more, and she ended up agreeing to a tummy tuck and liposuction package on top of the original plan. And the procedure apparently ran for over 8 hours, and she wasn't even given general anesthesia or intubated. She just got a mix of medicine. And there was allegedly no proper monitoring equipment being used to track her oxygen levels during all of this. And near the end, when Beauté was still stitching up the incision, Anselma's heart just stopped. So staff called 911, but by the time paramedics got there, she was, in her attorney's word, essentially gone. And unfortunately, even though they got her breathing again, the damage was already done. She survived, but she came out of it with permanent brain damage and needed a feeding tube and full-time care for the rest of her life. Her son, who was 26 at the time, became her caretaker, and he did that job every single day for 7 years until she passed away from complications related to this injury. So once the Soma's case became public, more patients started coming forward, and by mid-2018, report had counted at least 7 active malpractice lawsuits against Beauté, with several more already settled. Like, you had 2 sisters, Christine Dolly and Mitzi McFarlane. They said they went in for something called Smart Lipo, a laser-based fat removal method, and instead came out having undergone regular liposuction, which left them both saying they felt very disfigured. Then you have Latoya Rideau, the patient in the Cut It video. She said that she never agreed to be filmed during her February 2017 surgery, and the results left her uneven and an ongoing.
Men don't care because it doesn't increase our chances and success in dating by a significant margin. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. No matter what the incels or performative males may say, it doesn't affect us much. It doesn't affect us much, the looks or anything like that. It's so we don't fall into it, the category as much. But there are guys that do.
Pain. Imagine being too busy filming social media content for your business, trying to be funny, to actually do your job properly and not actually take care of your patients. Like, this is just so crazy, but I still feel like it's pretty much all downhill from here. Because something that came up during the reporting in this was a very important detail, because Beauté's own website advertised her as board certified in both surgery and dermatology. But apparently she was only board certified in dermatology, but she was still operating on people and filming music videos. To make things worse, she didn't even have admitting privileges at any hospitals either, and her office itself wasn't a licensed surgical facility. It also came out that the Georgia Medical Board had reportedly received a complaint about her practices as far back as 2016, over 2 years before her license was finally suspended. So in June of 2018, after a physician's assistant reportedly called in a separate incident, which was, in this case, a patient hospitalized with a collapsed lung and blood loss following a liposuction, breast augmentation, and BBL combo, the Georgia Composite Medical Board suspended Beauté's license, calling her a threat to public safety. What is wrong with Atlanta at this point? I mean, we've covered so many of these medical scams coming out of Atlanta. You had, you know, all the veneer techs. You had the couple that was doing BBLs and most.
It's funny because it's like I'm watching Wani, like when he's doing like the fake surgeries and all that in China, but it's the US. It's the US. Like I said, no matter what you say about one place in the world, your own neighborhood's doing the exact same thing. Your own neighborhood's doing the exact same thing. No nation is special. No nation is special. It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
Hells. And now this, a dermatologist operating on people in a facility that you can't operate on people in while filming music videos? I'm at loss for words for Atlanta. But apparently in an interview at that time, Beauté defended the videos. She said that they were all staged and planned, and the patients, they had picked the songs themselves and told her when to hit certain beats.
How TF is it happening in the US where everyone is looking for the next guy to sue? I don't know. You could sue for anything in the US. I could, well, there are plenty of things I could sue for. I probably wouldn't win because they're just nonsensical and make no sense, but a lot of people sue for nonsensical. And like, there are some people that have made a living just suing. Just suing. They will go do lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. Probably do 100 lawsuits in a year, and as long as one sticks, they've made their income for the year. They've made more than me in a year for just one that stuck. There are people that do that for a living. There really are. And it is insane. Absolutely insane.
Which is, you know, hard to do when you're under anesthesia, but hey, whatever floats the boat. Also, remember the woman in the Cut It video? She claims that she had no idea that this was going to be filmed. So I don't know who's lying here, but I do have a hunch. But she also claims these videos were just an educational tool.
I'm kind of private. I'm very private. So for me to actually harness a personality for social media and make it where it's a human relationship building and educational, and also to relieve anxiety about cosmetic surgery, because there's a lot of, in my preoperative and consultation visits with my patients, I notice that the biggest thing that comes across is anxiety. Music is such a global language, right? If I try to educate,
I would be anxious. Like, I would be paranoid if well, I'm not really on social media like that, but let's say my brother or some family member that's on social media came across a video of a doctor dancing, and it was me lying there comatose because I was on anesthesia right before they were about to cut into my foot. I would feel anxious. I'd be like, what the heck? Of course, this would be after the surgery and after the fact, but still, knowing that kind of stuff is going on, I would never trust a doctor again. I would never trust a doctor again. I would insist that my wife be in there during surgery to keep an eye on the doctor. That's literally what it's going to lead to. Or they just put cameras in the surgical rooms. Like, I remember when I had my brain surgery, I regret not doing it because after the fact, I was like, it was getting near towards the surgery and I was like, hey, is it possible to get a recording of the surgery? I think it'd be cool to see that after the fact. Probably wouldn't be, but I thought it would just be cool. I thought it'd be cool. But now I think they probably need to do that. Like, you are not allowed to do surgery unless there is a camera in the room. There has to be. Like, that way, the doctors could easily roll back the footage, or there would probably be like a new form of government that's put in place that does, or an AI. form of government that's literally run by AI and only a few techs that make sure everything's run properly, that make sure everything's done to code, everything's following procedure. They have the doctor's name, they have the doctor's qualifications, they do facial tracking and all that kind of stuff to know exactly what person in each room is doing and making sure they're doing it by the books. Sure, does that sound very dystopian? Absolutely. But would I feel safer? Yes. Yes, I would. And it's sad that we're getting into a society where having a very dystopian big brother is watching you mentality makes you feel far safer than just trusting your fellow human. But of course, trusting your fellow human has never led us down the right path.
Through just pointing at the computer and saying,
always.
Here's your muscular anatomy, here's where the muscle's separated, this is the amount of skin I may cut off or a tummy tuck. People, they didn't quite listen. When I added music to it to educate, all of a sudden, people paid attention.
And apparently she told Rideau something along the lines of being a dancing doctor actually grew her following because apparently people love a dancing doctor. Do you know what kind of doctor I like? A doctor that does their job and is focused on the patient and not filming social media content and actually has all the credentials they say they have. But hey, I guess that apparently is too much to ask for in 2026. That's not a guarantee anymore. But apparently that same year, Beauté formally agreed to a consent order suspending her license for a minimum of 2.5 years with the option to petition to get it back afterwards. But during that time, the order banned her from using the titles doctor, physician, or MD in Georgia. But there's a pretty big detail that resurfaced a couple years later, because one of the videos in the Cut It one was filmed while Dr. Roland Pinkay was managing Rideau's anesthesia. Because in the video, he's singing and dancing along the background during the actual surgery. Rideau eventually sued him separately, arguing that his behavior during the video was a part of a broader breach of how patients should be treated and respected while unconscious. And this case actually went to trial in Georgia in 2024, and the jury cleared Pinkney of any legal responsibility, deciding his conduct with the anesthesia itself met the required standard of care, even though he admitted on the stand that he regretted being a part of the video. So instead, the jury placed 100% of the fault on Beauté, who wasn't actually a defendant in the particular trial, and essentially awarded Rideau $0 in damages. And while all of this was going down in court, Beauté's financial situation was apparently just collapsing behind the scenes. So a DeKalb County judge ordered her to pay $700,000 to her former malpractice insurance company after she allegedly failed to pay the amount that she owed across 28 separate malpractice claims filed under a single policy. 28 malpractice claims. That is crazy. How common is it for doctors to receive malpractice claims? About 1.6% of physicians result in a financial payout or indemnity. I actually don't like those odds. So 16 out of 1,000, goof up. I guess it depends on the field. Ooh, so apparently with surgery, it can go all the way up to 15 to 19%. Oh, these are claim rates. Okay, so this isn't actually a, wow. Okay. But apparently her former insurance attorney said in 25 years of practicing law, he'd never seen that many claims stacked on one policy. So clearly this was not ideal whatsoever. But she was reportedly served with that lawsuit back in July, but I guess just never responded to it. So it defaulted. She just lost it. Awesome. So at this point, you were probably thinking, okay, that's it. Nothing worse could happen, right? Because so far we've covered, a doctor getting exposed, she loses her license, she gets hit with like a ginormous financial judgment, and then she fades into obscurity. Except not quite, because in November 2024, a news investigation out of Atlanta found that Beauté had rebranded herself completely, and she even changed her name. She was apparently now...
I think when it comes to something like this, they should be charged for murder. Like the neglect of, there are situations like doctors, they'll go from procedure to procedure. It depends on the doctor. Just like nurses, they'll work long shifts. And sometimes their stressed life at home makes it a lot more difficult for them to be at work. I think my voice broke for a second. Makes it far more difficult for them to actually work and do their job. The fact that she's allowed to continuously do this, continuously rebrand, continuously change her name, and because she changed her name, the people don't care, so she's allowed to change her degree because the degree is only banned because of is only banned because it was in her previous name, so they don't know that she's not allowed to practice anymore, that they green light the degree to have the name changed. That way they can have a brand new certificate with their name. Yeah, this is the last one. Yeah, it's a brand new certificate with their name and everything. So it's just like how this functions, how this works. Again, I personally believe, like, if my name is punched in, and there should be like a certain segment of like security that needs clearance for. But my name's punched in. They should know where I go to the doctor. They should know how old I am. They should know like my insurance situation. They should know my job. They should have like legit, my voting, my voter, not who I vote for, but the fact that I have a voter's ID. If not a voter's ID, I don't have the right to vote. Of course, we don't have voter's ID in the United States. But we need to have that in the United States to where you can track people. Again, it sounds very dystopian, but we need that, especially more so now that people are cutting corners and scamming people and taking advantage and ruining people's livelihoods and ruining people's lives and leading to people to dying on the operating table and then being like, well, they signed the paperwork saying like they agreed to this procedure. A lot of times these people are misinformed. I had like four doctor's appointments to meet with my surgeon before I went under the knife. 4. And all they did was completely reiterate everything that was going on, everything that was going to happen, if we had any questions to ask, every single time. But with her, it sounds like they met once. An hour later, they're being cut open. What the heck?
Catherine Davis, a combination of an actual middle and maiden names, and she's now operating in a new state, Texas. And the new business is Eden Med Spa in Austin, where she's listed online as the owner, touting experience at UCLA, Cedars-Sinai, and Emory. There is some serious audacity here. And of course, all of her new patients are completely unaware of what happened in Atlanta. Because if any of her patients or future patients search up Catherine Davis, nothing connects her to her old identity. No suspended license, no dancing videos, just a complete clean slate. And a producer of this investigation went undercover at the spa for a consultation and secretly recorded the whole thing on a phone. And apparently during this visit, Davis talked about her medical training like any licensed doctor would.
So we sent in our Channel 2 Action News producer to see what Dr. Davis tells patients. We switched off the undercover camera in the exam room. Davis let our producer record the consultation on her phone.
So as a physician, you're trained, okay, what the worst case scenario?
According to Texas law, it's illegal to advertise or promote yourself as a doctor without a Texas medical license. There's no license listed for her as Catherine Davis or Wendell Boutte. A consent order in Georgia also bars Miss Boutte from using the titles physician, doctor, or MD, but she has been.
And when a reporter later confronted her asking if she knew it was illegal in Texas to advertise yourself as a doctor without a Texas medical license, she didn't really answer. And there was no license on file for her under that name or her old name in any other state.
Do you know it's illegal to advertise yourself as a doctor in Texas without a medical license? Quiet with us, but online, she is dancing again, this time with needles and advertising. Do your patients know you have a suspended license? Do you tell anybody on your consultations about Wendell Boutte?
You know you guys are harassing someone?
That's the other owner.
You're harassing somebody. She's led to the death of at least one other patient. When you pay for a professional, again, this is why I'm completely against DEI type of hires. You have those people that work hard, get a degree, get a specialization in the field because they've worked hard for it. And then you have those that only got that because, well, we have all these Indians here as doctors. We have all these Asians here as doctors because, of course, Asians and Indians are completely different, which they're the same, I guess. So Asians here as doctors. We have a few white people here as doctors, but we don't have enough qualified black people. You know what? Here's this black woman. She's a C student. You know what? Let's give her a pass. Let's give her a pass. Let's allow her to do the doctorate program. You know what? She's failing a few of her classes, but you know what? She's black. She's the only black girl in class. You know what? We can pass her. We can pass her. Who do you want? A qualified professional, and not saying that black people can't get qualified, but she obviously wasn't qualified. A qualified professional who's worked hard for the degree they're working towards, or someone who seems like they're just coasting. Because of who they are, they're going to get a pass. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but the DEI hires have been around for over a decade now. Even before they became mainstream, they were already doing it. She seems like one of those that was probably early, indoctrinated in early. Let's see how far this program can run us. That's why I think like the reservation system in India is absolute garbage. It's like, maybe I don't even agree for like a short period of time does it make sense. No, everyone should be everyone should be given every opportunity equally. And if you meet the qualifications, great. If you don't, too bad. I don't care what your sob story is. If you don't qualify, you don't deserve to be there. It's that simple. That simple.
Med Spa, Amber Larson. She seemed surprised when we called Miss Davis Dr. Boutte. Dr. Boutte. Her name is Dr. Wendell Boutte.
No, it's not.
Yes, it actually is.
So once that newer story ran, things started moving pretty fast. The Spa Zone website started actively scrubbing every reference to Davis as, I guess, owner or doctor. And they were doing this live while the reporters kept refreshing the page and watching the changes happen in real time. And the business itself sent patients an email saying that Davis was dealing with difficulties outside of Eden and wasn't currently doing procedures there anymore. And apparently, by law in Texas, a licensed physician needs to be one of the owners of any medical spa, and reporters couldn't even find an active business license for Eden Med Spa itself on top of everything else. So the whole thing eventually got reported to the Texas Medical Board and Secretary of the State's office. However, though, even after all of this became public, it took a while for existing patients to actually connect the dots here. So in one story that happened in September of last year, a woman named Takeem, who had gone to Davis for a facial thread lift procedure, she said the appointment went wrong almost immediately. Because according to her, Davis reacted to something going wrong mid-procedure by yelling out in shock, which understandably freaked her out even more, because, she's sitting there in the chair, which is, again, more proof that, hey, maybe you should have a license to be doing this. Maybe you shouldn't be doing any surgeries as a dermatologist. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't be so soulless and still practice on people when you have no business doing so. I don't know, though. Just like imagine
Next
going
time
in for
for
plastic
live. I'm
surgery
just doing
and
it
your
whenever.
surgeon
I'm
starts
still
throwing a temper
recovering.
tantrum mid-surgery. That is crazy. I have no idea how anyone should feel during that situation.
I don't know why I'm watching something on failed surgeries when I'm still dealing with mine. But I'm feeling better today. This will be the last video, but I'm feeling better today. But yeah, it's just crazy.
Situation. But Takeem, she says that she was left with jaw problems and visible scarring and ended up spending over $7,000 trying to get it corrected. But the worst part here is she went back to Davis for the fixes because she still didn't know who she actually was. Oh, people like this deserve to just get put under a jail. But Boutte responded to that specific report by saying the reporter should go pull the actual medical records if they wanted the full story. But I guess by that point, Eden Med Spa itself.
That's why you need to pull the video logs. When people are put under anesthesia, under knife, there should be a recording of the incidents that happened there.
Had apparently gone under entirely. So according to former customers who'd said they found a
Doctor freaking out mid-procedure is top-tier nightmare fuel? Absolutely. Notice
on the door about unpaid rent. So
Wrong
I guess
topic,
the whole
yeah.
location just shut down for good. How are you scamming all these people and you still can't afford your rent? This just doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'm just like shocked that she essentially got chased out of a whole city and state because of her medical malpractice. And then she just sets up shop in a different state with a new name. But at the time of this video, she doesn't appear to have an active medical license under either name in either state, at least anything that I can find publicly. But hey, considering she's already changed her name once before, I wouldn't be surprised if she has a new name now and she's back to practicing. And the craziest part to the story is there's no real ending here because despite the media attention and the complaints filed with both the Texas Medical Board and the Secretary of the State's office, there's no public record of any final action behind that. So as far as I can verify, it just gets cold from there. So she was exposed, the spa appears to have shut down, and after that, the story is just unresolved. So right now, we've reopened the case slightly. So if there is any update to Catherine Davis or Wendell Boutte, we'll cover it. Because again, like the people in Georgia said, she is literally a risk to the public. But hey, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe and drop a like.
The fact that she's allowed to continue this. The fact that she's allowed to keep continuing this is insane. She deserves prison time. She absolutely does not belong in public. She's a blight on society. A blight on society. You want the people to feel comfortable in going to professionals for professional help because they're qualified in that thing they say they're qualified in. This kind of stuff, the more it happens, the less trust people will have. Like the US used to be a high trust society. The more and more we progress, the less and less trustful people become. For one instance, a lot of the things get blown out. So always the negatives get blown out of, not blown out of proportion, but get shown more. Like people notice the negatives more than any positives. It's just easier to see it that way. And then for another is the fact that I need to get off. I felt pain in my foot. I felt pain in my foot. I think it's psychosomatic from what I was watching. But yeah, that's it. I think she has the files. Of course she has the files. But then again, I mean, we've lost trust in people. We've lost trust in people because these people get more traction than those who are doing good. And that not honestly how it should be. People should get called out when they do wrong. People should get punished when they do wrong. It's the problem where people see people doing wrong. Oh yeah, that's the other part. People see people doing wrong, and then they see nothing happens to them. They just go back to doing the same exact thing. Yeah, I need a... my brain shut down. And I'm starting to overheat. So obviously my body needs a break.
You guys see the video? It's so bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait on that.